Alright, hello! So, I know you might be expecting a why would you use today, but we have something this is significantly more important to talk about. Lots of things are changing. Lots of weapons that were really good are about to be not very good or worth using. So, we need to talk about this a lot. Balance Pass. So, first things first, all of this stuff is subject to change, as it says in bold up there. That's very important to note. And if you vehemently disagree with any of these things, let the devs know in a nice way. Or be super pissed. I mean, I can't control you. Do what you want, right? I'm going to do it in a metered way. Speaking of metered, let's talk about the miter. So, first things first on the miter, this is a buff. This is a good thing in general. So we got the increased chance of dismemberment on kills, which is fine. Maybe makes Necros like this weapon slightly more. That's fine. Probably makes the weapon overall feel a little better for what it's doing. Projectiles are faster. That's actually a large buff for this. Projectiles being faster, depending on how much faster, is something the miter could very much use. Charge time being halved. That means your DPS is doubled, so that's solid. That's a good increase for the miter. Okay. Critical chance of 5% for a quick shot. No one's gonna notice. Well, okay. And 10% for a charge shot. I mean, giving it crits is technically more damage. Technically. The other stuff on there is pretty good. The other thing, though, is the master rank has been increased to 6. Why? I don't know why that would be the case. If that said MR 4, I would get it. Like, had it been changed to 4? I actually don't remember what the miter is locked at right now. It might not have been locked to anything. So it's weird to be at 6, because the miter comes, if I'm remembering correctly, from Ceres, from the dual boss fight with Let Krill and Vor. Ceres is really early. That's like a pre-neural sensors planet, which is like all super early, like baby stuff. So I don't know why it would be MR6. MR6 is what I would presume a player might reach at around Saturn, which is 2 planets later than this. So that seems a bit weird. Maybe they wanted to incentivize like giving a player a goal if they think the miter looks cool, which is something I guess I could get behind, but it seems like a weird choice. Moving on though, we gotta talk about the Heart Pack. So the Heart Pack is already a weapon that I would suggest for new players, but fuck it, let's buff it. Why not? Okay, sure. Recoil has been reduced on the primary fire. Great, makes it easier to use. Alright. The alt fire charge time has been removed and is now instantaneous. Okay, I thought that alt fire was okay in the early game, but just make it really good. Sure. Critical chance has been increased to 20%. Alright, more criticals too. Fuck it, why would we not do that? Increased the range of the alt fire from 15 meters to 40 meters. That's really big. For those of you that do not know, the Heart Pack has its harpoon on its alt fire, which will grapple and knock down and hard crowd control the enemy that you fire it at. It being instantaneous means you could do that to multiple targets at a time, which means in the early game, you can just see motherfuckers like it's no big deal, and the Heart Pack has solid damage. Even more so now that it has more critical chance. So, the Heart Pack is looking like a real solid early game weapon. That's what I'm seeing. Which is, I don't think they needed to do that, but hey, thank you, I guess. Because, I mean, I don't know, I like the Heart Pack. Fuck. Pick it up, new players, I guess. I guess you just do it now. Just, you have to. So there's that. Moving on, we got the Hind, which is a piece of shit. But depending on what... This is really vague, what they're doing with the Hind. We've added a single-shot semi-auto alt-fire to the Hind that has increased damage, critical, and status chance. So unless the increased damage is a shit ton, or the increased critical or status is a lot, like 20% increases, you're not really going to see anyone using the Hind still, especially if they have to middle mouse click for the fire that's any good, because that would require you to rebind keys for a weapon that's going to probably end up being still not very good. We don't have numbers on that one. It could be viable, but I don't know yet, because we don't have any like solid data that they're giving us that I can be like, oh, theory crafting, they added 70% status chance. Well, weird. That makes that a decent status weapon. Huh, how about that? Weird. But yeah, so without the exact data, can't say, probably still going to be a bad weapon. The Panther is getting changes similar to the Miter. Primary fire is automatic now, which is that's a DPS boost. All right, more fire rate, automatic weapon. That's an improvement. Okay. Status chance increased to 20%. Not bad. Automatic weapon, 20% status chance. That's respectable. Critical chance of primary fire is 10%. Not really going to matter in the long run, but whatever. It's fine. If it's got 20% status, that's not terrible. Crit multiplier is 2x. That's fine. Ammo requirement is reduced to 2. Secondary fire status chance is 35%. That could be really solid for this weapon, depending on how you build it. So that means, potentially, at close range, you could do a fuckload of slash procs. Hopefully it means that. I think that will be a little harder to pull off without some new types of mods entering the scene, but it should show like future potential for that thing, which would be nice, because that thing is cool, it's just been useless forever. Critical hit chance in secondary, 25%. That's the other thing that makes this viable. The thing that is weird, Master Rank 7. That... I don't know. There's just something unfortunate about the Panther being at 7, and I guess it only makes sense because the Miter is at 6. But I don't think the Miter makes sense at 6. If they both got like a 2 reduction, where you get the Miter at 4, which is like probably about right for what someone's going to be at on Ceres, and then you get the Panther at 5, that seems like it would be in line, but that's without testing any of this stuff, obviously. I don't know. The Mastery thing is the thing I'm most worried about for that, because I think Master Rank 7, you have some hard-hitting shit by the time you're on Master Rank 7 if you, like, know where you're going in terms of weapons, so I'm worried about it. That's the big thing with the Miter and, God damn it, I already forgot. Miter and the Panthera. That thing has such a weird name. Parassist, though. The damage of the primary fire increased by 5. Okay, not bad. Solid. That gets increased by all mods, so 5 is more than you probably think it is. Updated the FX, not important. Increased the range of the alt fire, tethered to 50 meters. This is the same alt fire, well, not exactly the same, but pretty close to the alt fire of the Harpack. 50 meters, not bad for an effect like that. That's far away. Status chance increased to 30%. That's big. 30% status chance on a weapon that fires at like the good clip that the Parassist does, along with the more damage. That's gonna end up being pretty fucking good overall. Critical chance increases 10%. That doesn't matter in the long run. Obviously, gonna be a status weapon. Master rank at 5. This one, I think, is totally good. Totally fine. Master rank 5. Those stats, I think it will see use. I see the Parassist now as like oh, you had a Harpack. You really enjoyed that alt fire. Hey, this thing has that alt fire basically. What if you had this dope status weapon? I think that's what it's going to end up being, obviously without practice. That thing seems like... Oop, I screwed up a little bit. Sorry about that. I think that's going to be interesting to see if like more players go down the Harpack to Parassist route, because Master Rank 5 is not bad for that. That will almost certainly be an upgrade to the Harpack that is pretty simple to achieve, so interested in seeing more about that. The Mutila's Quanta. So this is what I talked about in my review as like just being too difficult to pull off. I think this will help it a lot, like a huge amount. So they're changing how it functions. So you don't shoot at one orb now. You shoot at multiple orbs that combine into like a big area that you can shoot through, which makes this way more user-friendly, and I think will give the Mutila's Quanta, it'll give it team support. Being able to put down like essentially like a Volt Shield-esque area that people can shoot through to do way more damage is super useful. Tiny bubbles, not so much. Big area, super useful. And easy for people to, like after it's in for a while, know what the hell that is. So we might see the Mutila's Quanta be brought as a supporting weapon, which would be really cool. So that is, I'm excited to see exactly what that looks like in practice, and I hope that it makes it see some use. I might have also like to see like a slight damage buff on the Mutilist, but on the Mutila's Quanta, but Yeah. The Buzzlock. So this weapon is patently dog shit, or at least it has been. The ammo requirement for the secondary homing reduced to 2. I guess is fine. That wasn't really a make or break situation, but it's appreciated. Physical damage distribution has been adjusted to 50% impact, 40% puncture, and 10% slash. That's okay. Obviously, slash physical weapons are king, just in general. It's not so bad to be mostly impact and puncture, though. I guess it's fine. That's not going to matter in the huge grand scheme of things type stuff. So it's fine. Damage increased to 60 from 45. That's pretty good. That's not bad at all. That's like a 30%-ish increase to damage. All right. Okay, maybe you can make this work. Critical chance, 15%. 2.5 multiplier. Given some more mods in on primary weapons, you could see that maybe become a thing if critical chance gets a little more iffy. If we had, per se, a mod where the less you miss, the higher your critical chance goes, because the Buzzlock doesn't miss. That's its thing. So maybe there's a mod to be added there that could see the Buzzlock actually see use. I'm interested to see where they go with it. Flight speed of the homing beacon, that's just a nice like ease of use upgrade to the Buzzlock, so it's less of a pain in the ass to use. Yeah, critical chance increased by 50% on targets with... Wait, did I miss this earlier? 50% on targets with homing beacon attached to them. Clip size reduced it. Wait, okay, no. I'm not crazy. Okay, no, my bad. Not increased to. I read that completely wrong. Increased by 50%. So that means you're getting like 23-ish% critical chance with the homing beacon on your enemy, which is... I mean, it's fine, but not really anything big in the grand scheme of things. It's a nice little buff if you're using the homing beacon, I suppose. Clip size reduced. Mastery rank increased to 9. That's way too much. That... Like, it might end up as a fun gimmick weapon. But At master rank 9? 9? At 9? Like, at 9, you're at the point where you could, like, make, like, a couple-day burst up to Syndicate weapons and be like, Sancti Tigris, fake or heck, here we go. So I don't know if the Buzzlock is gonna really get any love there. Speaking of love, though, let's talk about the Galaxian. This is a weapon that I love, but has just been dog shit, like, forever. So this could potentially make it really solid. A beam weapon you might actually want to use? Fucking crazy. Increased damage to 333 from 250, which is a significant bump, not bad. The rate at which ammo is consumed has been decreased. That is the big question for this weapon. How much is that? Is that half? If it consumes half as much ammo, does more damage, has more accuracy, slightly reduced range, there's a case to be made for a Galaxian that does that. That's not bad. That thing has a 100% cold proc. That's not terrible. I have seen way worse than that. So hopefully that makes the Galaxian another beam weapon that we would actually ever want to use in our lives. So I'm hoping to see a significant decrease in the rate at which ammo is consumed. Because if it's consumed, and if it's like phage levels, the Galaxian is definitely viable. Yeah, that'll be very interesting. Then we have the Ogress, the old standby, the Ogress, the old used to be good, definitely not anymore. Let's see what they've done to this, shall we? The flight speed of the projectile has been increased. Okay, that's not bad. Flight speed upgrades kind of across the board today. That's not bad. Status chance increased to 35%. So this will be interesting with the augment for the Ogress, which is the Napalm upgrade. If that allows you to put down some nice AoEs at a good rate that do good status, that will be an interesting use for the Ogress along with these other changes. So the charge time to fire the Ogress has been reduced. That's good. More damage output. That is patently good. You have more. It's increasing damage, effectively. Direct impact damage has been decreased to 100, which you may be thinking, well, that seems like a downgrade. Why would that be like a good change? But they increased the damage of the AoE to 600. So, yeah. The range is increased to 6 meters, which I believe the Ogress's range before was 2 meters, roughly. I'm not 100% on that. Don't quote me on that one. But I think it was around 2 meters. So that being 6 meters, that's a good explosion. That's not bad. Mastery rank requirement increased to 8. Again, I think that might be slightly too much, unless they're kind of trying to raise mastery rank requirements across the board a tad. That being said, if this ends up as like a nice AoE status thing with its augment, mastery rank 8 will make some sense for this weapon. Yeah, I could see the Ogress seeing some use with those changes, provided its Napalm augment works how I think it works, which it should. So that will be quite good. The Attica. So, the Attica, just, it wasn't worth the build cost. Well, let's talk about what they're changing. The weapon recoil reduced. That's good. Usability stuff. Alright. Fire rate increased. That's very good. One of its problems was that its fire rate didn't really feel good to use, my opinion, of course, on that one. But, you know. Flight speed of the bolts increased. Alright. Okay. Ease of use stuff. Fair enough. Critical chance increased to 25%. Okay. Alright. Well, alright. Critical multiplier, 2x. Okay. Ammo capacity to 20. Alright. Early game critical weapon. That is not so bad. You could build that early on and be happy with it, I think. Depending on how much the increase to its flight speed and the reduction of its weapon recoil are, I could see this actually maybe being worth 1 forma that it takes to build at the early parts of the game. So, good change overall. Maybe the Attica will go alongside the regular Axe stilettos as an early game build for newer players. Maybe. Now we're going to get into some things that people aren't going to be too happy about. The Tonkor. So, the Tonkor. A long-standing, overpowered weapon. It will no longer be that. So it will now deal self-damage like all other launchers, so you're going to kill yourself nearly 100% of the time. Who can survive this? Sometimes Rhino, depending on the build, can survive that with his iron skin on. Not a lot of things that can survive a Tonkor on the Warframe side of things, so if you hit yourself, you're gonna die. Tonkor grenade trajectory now appears when holding the fire button, and grenade releases, or fires on release. Okay, you're gonna fire slower. Just Kate, like, unless, yeah, you're gonna fire a little slower, so that's unfortunate. Maximum lifespan of the grenade is dropped from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. Grenades are quicker to explode. That's kind of fine, except for it's gonna explode in your face. So, well, you know. Grenades bounce lower and explode sooner, making them more likely to explode where they are shot. So if you misjudge and you hit that wall in front of you, they are more likely to explode and murder you. Critical chance has been reduced to 25%. Along with all of the above, I really think that that bottom one is a real kick in the knee. Just sweep all the people who love the Tonkor down. That is quite a large reduction in practice. Like, that going from, ooh, that will hurt, that hurts the Tonkor a lot, because it's a critical weapon, so, not going to be seeing that as often, I think. Maybe pick up an Ogress? Maybe? See how it goes. The Simulor, the regular Simulor. Status chance increased to 30%. Simulor doesn't fire fast enough for that to be good. Critical chance of 2% has been added. Oh, good. Great. Perfect. My favorite, even. That's worthless. Also, the way that's worded is really weird. A critical chance of 2% has been added. I don't understand. That's a really weird way to say that. But whatever. AoE explosion range increased from 0.5 to 2.8 meters to 1 to 6 meters. Now, for those of you that don't know what that means whenever you manually explode the balls. So you shoot and then alt fire. Some of you don't even know that the Simulor can do that. That always procs electricity, so if you're doing that, it's not helping the status that was added to this weapon. But it has more range now, so there's that. Actually, I'm not 100% certain that on this regular version it always procs electricity. So, I'm actually not 100% certain on that. The explosion damage increased from 50 to 200 when detonated. Not on combine. Once again, not on combine. On detonation. An orb stacking event when the orbs combine. That's the combination. Damage range decreased from 1 to 3 meters. Or to 1 to 3 meters. From 3 to 8. So that's a 5-meter decrease in explosion radius. So, woo. Oh boy. Damage decrease from 150 to 250 to 20 to 40. So that's worthless now. That's... Oh man. The regular Simulor didn't even need a nerf. But it's gonna take the full dick here. Goodbye. The Synoid Simulor, similar changes. Bye-bye. No more. Synoid Simulor, flush it. Goodbye. So that's, yeah. No. That's gone now. Simulor Mirage will probably almost, like, it should cease to be a thing with this. Unless Simulor Mirages are going to suddenly start using the alt fire, which I seriously doubt. So, yeah. Yeah. Simulors are dead. And the Telos Boltace is dead. So... they're changing the mechanics of it to be a vortex that pulls enemies in, and then a vortex that pushes enemies out. Back and forth. And then they gave it a cooldown. Which is, like, the biggest kick in the dick to the Telos Boltace of all time. It's, like, actually kind of hilarious. Like, wow. Like if the back and forth wasn't on a cooldown, I'd be like, well, that's really unfortunate. And my main use for a Telos Boltace was to open boxes in a level anyway? So maybe hopefully it will fucking still do that. Please God, still open boxes. That's actually all I want them to keep, is its ability to open boxes in a decent range. So yeah, there's that. So that's some weapon changes. I get a feeling a lot of people aren't going to be happy about a lot of these. I actually don't really mind, and a lot of this makes a ton of sense. Telos Boltace, been getting complained about for a long, long time. It is, honestly, it's visual cancer for anyone who wasn't using black energy, so a lot of your complaints are probably coming from that, but yeah, that's dead. Okay, so, like, let's go down the list. Telos Boltace, or up the list, I suppose. Telos Boltace, that's going to be a dead meme weapon now. Synoid Simulor, dead meme weapons. Both Simulors, dead. Regular Simulor was already a dead weapon. Synoid Simulor, gonna be a dead meme weapon, calling it right now. These are my predictions, by the way, not 100%. Tonkor, gonna see way less use, isn't dead, but I don't know why you would use it if it has self-damage. There's no reason for it. Attica, could become a good early game choice for new players. Gonna have to test it and see, but I could see it becoming solid for new players. Not bad. Ogress, master rank might be a little high. That being said, if it works the way I think it does with the augment, will be, like, decently solid, might see use on, let's say, like, Vauban, possibly Saren? Potential, perhaps, for it to be used with Saren? I could maybe see it. Galaxian could become a really solid beam weapon. I'm really hoping it is, because I really like the Galaxian. Buzzlock. I think that this is not going to be useful until we get a mod that supports this weapon. Like, maybe as I was saying, the more you hit a certain target over and over, it will give you, like, significantly heightened critical chance. The more shots you land in a row, that could be, like, a thing that makes the Buzzlock very worth it. There's potential for that. Mutalisc Quanta, potential as a supportive weapon. I don't know if it will, like, depending on how big the area gets. Like, if you shoot out 2 and it's, like, Bolt Shield size, could be a really solid thing that you could bring in. I would have also maybe like to see, like, the duration of how long that thing sticks around increased a little bit, which would definitely probably seal the deal for the Mutalisc Quanta. I'm interested to see exactly what that looks like. Parasist could become solid. I can maybe see this as an upgrade path from the new Harpack, which would be interesting. Panthera, I don't think this is gonna, like, be more than, like, a gimmick weapon. That being said, it might become an effective gimmick weapon, or an effective enough gimmick weapon. The Hind, unless these damage, critical, and status chance increases are very, very large, I don't see those changes really making a large difference for the Hind. I'm going to predict that it will still be trash. The Harpack, on the other fucking hand, is a must pick up. This weapon was already good for new players, and it must be picked up by new players now. Those increases are nutso crazy. That is going to be very, very solid. That is going to be a new player, like, must pick up weapon. Really good. The Miter, interesting, but I think the MR is too high. That being said, it is a definite like bump for the miter, and I hope it will maybe see some use. If the master rank was decreased by like 2, I could see players definitely picking that up and being happy with it after that boss fight on Ceres. So that's gonna do it for the balance pass. I hope you guys had fun. Let me know what you guys think of the changes down in the comments, because I want to know what people's reactions are to this. This was like out of nowhere. Octavia is about to launch. All this stuff. Yeah, just let me know what you think, because I'm blown away that this happened, honestly. And this is like, these are some of like the most interesting changes that have gone into Warframe in like months, because I'm looking at it from like the perspective of like what DE wants to change and what they want to push. In like take these weapons and like push like a certain type of thing and push out a different kind of thing. Like pushing out like the Simulor and pushing out the Telos Boltace definitely shows some like anti-AoE from DE's side, which is really interesting. Also worth noting here at the end, they do say at the bottom, for anyone that did not read this, if you invested into any of these weapons that got nerfed, when the update releases, you will get some Forma and an affinity booster. So you'll get some amount of refund on your investment. So that's the balance pass. See you guys tomorrow. I hope this was significantly more interesting than the Why Would You Use I was going to put up today.